and welcome back. To tell you the truth, we've had a rather disappointing volume of calls coming through this month compared to last, but then last month really was exceptional and exceptionally successful. Even so, we think that we've had 2 positive identifications of people at least, and there's been some very positive information on at least 2 of the crimes. So,
well, we'll start with photocall, and we showed you 8 faces tonight in the hope that somebody might recognise one of them. Superintendent David Hatcher, first of all, what cases have we got news on first of all?
Well, first that Abbey National Building Society raid. We were looking for a blonde man, and then another picture we showed you where he apparently had dark hair. We've had some possible names suggested for him. Then there was Raymond Amis, who we showed in connection with a series of attempts to obtain money on the offer of video equipment.
We had several calls on him during the main programme.
Yes, in fact, Bray's police station have been inundated with calls, as we have here at the studio. We've got possible sightings of him with women in the Essex area. We've had 2 new people who think they may have been connected with the series of frauds that we talked about, and that's increased the pattern. And we've got strong indications of where Raymond Amis may be living now.
Right. What about the Building Society robber in the Leeds Permanent in Duke Street in Glasgow?
Well, all I'm going to say is we're very excited about that one.
OK. What about the Building Society robber who's robbed 7 building societies in North London? He's armed and often carries a Tesco carrier bag. Yes,
very good response. We've got new witness to one of the robberies. We've had a number of names suggested, and also some information about a possible car that's involved in those offences.
Talking of cars, John Cheeseman and Jacqueline Brown were wanted. They might have information on the thefts of Ford cars.
Well, first of all, John Cheeseman, alias Ransom, we got possible sightings of him, including information about a possible hire car. And then Jacqueline Brown, we think she may be living in the North Kent area, and we're expecting further information on her tonight.
OK. And there was the short, fat man in his 30s who was wanted in connection with armed robberies in West London.
Not so promising at this moment, but if anybody still recognises him, call us now. We've got some names and addresses. None of them actually yet tie up to the degree that we usually get, so keep calling. OK,
David, thank you very much for the moment. Nick.
6 weeks ago, there was a raid on a security van delivering cash to a bank in Grays in Essex. When the security guards stepped out of the vehicle, they were forced at gunpoint to lie down on the road. The gang stole over £250,000 and got away on 2 powerful motorbikes, which they'd stolen the night before. Warder Whitehill, what sort of response have you had?
We had very encouraging response, especially in relation to the crash helmets. This particular crash helmet we've had identified as belonging to a courier company, Air Systems 1.
Now, we thought that that was the name of the helmet. We now know that's the name of the courier company.
Either a courier company now, or a company that was a company has been taken over by someone else, and we're anxious to identify this company.
So if anyone knows about that company, what happened to it, where it was, where it is, please call us. What about the other helmet?
And this ties in very well with the courier company. We've had several viewers tell us that couriers put radio pagers inside the front of the helmet, drill holes, so they can hear the radio pagers over the noise of the traffic. So this again ties in with a courier company.
OK, now I know we have to be discreet, but you've had one call which has offered you some very solid information indeed.
Yes, we've had one call from a person who tells us that he knows who planned and carried out the raid. Now, the person who called has only partly identified himself, and we really would like to remind him that there's £30,000 reward available, and please do get in touch with us again.
OK, Mr Whitehall, thanks very much indeed.
Well, next, the murder of David Short, a double glazing salesman who worked in and around the Broadstairs area on the southeast coast. 2 years ago, he was working in the bar of the Castle Keep Hotel in Broadstairs, where witnesses remember he was threatened one night.
You get to stop off. Yeah, you go stop all right. Yeah, all right. Have a good time. Worth going. Okay. So where are you going on your holidays?
Oi, mate! Any more trouble from you, and I'll bleed and kill you. Have you got that?
Well, David Birchall was taking calls on this case. During the main programme, we asked one particular caller to call back. So what's happened on that?
Yes, he hasn't yet called back. This is a male caller who called Southgate Police Station. The information he gave was very encouraging. However, he was concerned that the call was being traced. I'd like to assure him that his call wasn't being traced and ask that he rings us here or at Margate Police Station at the incident room there.
Right. Now, did anybody recognise the video fit we showed of the man seen arguing with David Short on his doorstep 10 days before he was murdered?
We've had several calls, a very recent one indeed, concerning that. But we would ask others to look at this video fit very, very closely to see whether they can identify this man.
And we needed information on the CS gas and where that might have been obtained.
Yes, we specifically asked whether a male anonymous caller who'd phoned the incident room early in the inquiry could contact us. He hasn't done so, but if he is watching, I appeal to him, please give us a ring, because that information is very important to us.
Mr. Birchall, thank you very much indeed.
We've had a number of calls on the murder of Linda Donaldson from Liverpool. Linda was a prostitute and was waiting for clients near where she lived late on Monday, the 17th of October, and into the early hours of Tuesday, the 18th of October. She was last seen by a friend as she walked towards someone in a dark-coloured saloon car. Ken Clark, what sort of volume of calls have you had?
Well, within the first half hour of the programme going out, we had 50 calls at Smithdown Lane, the murder incident room, and at the present time, detectives are sifting through that information.
Have you had anything particularly encouraging, or is it just a great mass of information you've got to wade through?
Well, one of the things that's come out of it is a young lady has seen someone to the same description as the man in the video fit. So much so that she took a full description of this man when she saw him.
Why was she worried about him when she saw him?
She was frightened of him because of the way he was acting towards her and the fact he was carrying a canvas bag which is similar to the one that we've spoke about.
And did she see him near where Linda Donaldson disappeared?
About 5 minutes away from where Linda Donaldson disappeared.
Well, that is encouraging. Have you heard anything more about Linda Donaldson's clothing yet?
So far, we've received nothing as regards the clothing or the
Let me just show these again to the camera. This is her shoulder bag, or something very similar to that was stolen. And there's the bag. And this, she was wearing all black. And this is very similar, we believe, and about similar in size to the jacket that she was wearing. So.
Well, now to see what calls have been coming through on our incident desk cases tonight. David Hatcher again. First of all, you were looking for a man who seriously sexually assaulted a young woman in Lancashire last April. He was very distinctive.
That's right, yes. We know he had a tattoo with Everton and the letters FC on his arm. We had 20 calls into the incident room in Formby and 18 here. A man has been seen in the Hightown area near Formby that matches the artist's impression that we showed on that particular man. Another man has been seen in a public house in Waterloo, and remember we mentioned a second rape, or a second attack, where a woman had reported similar circumstances and a similar description there, so we may have another witness to him, and also we've got a possible name for him.
Right. Well, any news on that missing 15-year-old boy, Lee Boxall from Cheam in Surrey?
Yes, well, we've had 12 possible sightings of him between Doncaster and Devon. None of them relate to the information we gave about him being a football fan, because remember we said he might be going to football matches. But we've had sightings that actually cover that time between his disappearance and the present date. So there's possibility to be more optimistic than perhaps at the beginning of the programme, but it is a very serious case, and if anybody thinks they've seen him, please call us.
Yes, please do. And any help from Merseyside Police investigating the murder of James Gibson in Walton?
Very little. We showed a black Maestro and asked for sightings of it. B809 GUP was the registration. We also showed an artist's impression. We've had very little on either of those circumstances so far.
And finally, that very serious assault on the young woman on the London Underground in October.
More optimistic there. We've had sightings which match the video fit that we showed that tie in with other parts of the London area. We've got a possible name for an off-duty police officer. And we've got further reports from women who've been involved in incidents on the tube and they think could tie in with the people that we're looking for. Remember, 2 West Indian description people that we were looking for. So they would be enormously helpful. And anybody else who thinks they've been involved in this type of incidents, please call us. Your call will be treated in absolute confidence.
David, thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
OK, well, that's it for this month. Thank you very much indeed for calling, if you did. If you've been trying to get through this evening, if you found the lines busy, apologies. We'll give you police headquarters numbers in just a moment. Or, of course, you can ring your local police. Indeed, you can always write to us. It's a simple address, Crimewatch UK, BBC TV, London W12 8QT. We'll have more news of developments on Open Air at about 11:50 tomorrow morning. That's 10 to 12 or thereabouts. And in next month's Crimewatch, which is on Thursday, the 12th of January. In the meantime, I know it's early to say it, but Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and don't have nightmares, do sleep well. Good night.
Good night.